talking about sort of English players and players in the Premier League, right? Especially English players, where we see like it's almost like their skills and their style of play. If it's creative or if it's different, if it's silky, it's trained out of them. So I'll give you an example where Rashford, right, came on the scene, always wants to be a man. All of a sudden, he started to get the ball, turn around and pass. Sterling, it happened to him as well, where he stopped sort of dribbling, he gets the ball, turn around and pass. And it tends to happen with all the English players. Number one, they're not played in their position. Number two, they're almost told don't sort of play. Remember Joe Cole, the way Joe Cole used to play? No one trained it out of him, but 99% of the time when an English player comes into the scene, it's sort of trained out of them. So Dan, I'll start with you. Do you think, what do you think, is it an issue where there's so much pressure to win games that managers are like, do the basics and forget? Whereas if you look at Benzema, Ben Arthur, all these guys that came through Martial, they say, go out and play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You could definitely see the freedom has definitely sort of decreased or declined over the years. When you see like Joe Cole coming in from like 17 years old, getting to play in the Premier League and getting to play all those games and play sort of the best way that fit him. And now, these days, it's like you said, there's so much money in football now. It's all about just winning games and picking up points rather than trying to develop your youngsters. So you're trying to get them to do the basics. And if that's the problem, it's this fear of them making a mistake. Because if they make a mistake, they're out of the team the next week, which we've seen. We saw Reece Oxford, as they say, pocketed Ozil 1 week, and then next week he makes a mistake against Leicester, he's out of the team.
So are we blaming the managers or the English culture? What is it?
It's the culture, it's the money that's in football, it's the pressure, because what the managers...
It's the same thing in Spain, Italy, like Germany.
Yeah, it's the same. Well, Germany. I was on another podcast. We were talking to a German guy and saying how different it is over there, where fans have a say in their stake in the clubs, and they are a bit better at bringing through youngsters. That's why we've sent Reece Oxford over to Germany now, and you've got a few youngsters going over there.
As well, right?
They're going over there. So they sort of run it a bit better where there's less money in German football.
What about yourself, Michael? What's your? Who do you sort of blame for coaching the skills and the freedom out of these youngsters?
A lot of the time, when I look at it, I can sometimes blame the coaches. But personally, I'll blame the players.
Right.
One of two things. Number one, maybe they are not that good in that sense. I feel like when you look at Joe Cole, he was such an exceptional. There was nothing you could do. The way he was going to play, there was you only just have to accept it. And when I look at some of the dribblers that have come through since him, they don't actually really compare. So I feel that coaches look at it and be like, you're not outstanding in that aspect. I need you to push it to the side.
I'll give you an example, right? I know not everyone rates him, but I'll give you an example. Oxlade-Chamberlain, when he first came through, he could actually dribble. Would you say, you're an Arsenal fan, would you say he could dribble?
I would say,
I know you had pace.
With Oxlade-Chamberlain was a combination of both. Ability-wise, he has the skill set, but didn't hone it properly to sort of be an effective player. Also the coach, and I don't think Arsene Wenger really had trust in him and didn't really give him a run of games for him to develop, such as other players such as Walcott. He sort of proved himself not to be to the standard and level that people thought he would be. And I watch Oxlade-Chamberlain, and he seems to have a confidence issue, and that is one thing that can affect English players. I think in other countries they're given, as I said, the freedom to express themselves, to develop their confidence, which is why we have the likes of Mbappe thrive at Monaco. They gave him the freedom to develop himself. With that growing confidence, he tried more things, and even in PSG now, with the vast amount of great players they have, he tries things, he's confident to try things, whereas in the English games, I think confidence is one thing that is sort of taken away from players. Like even Rashford now, when he first burst on the scene, he had the confidence of LVG and was confident in the things he was trying, the skills, some of the passes, some of the strikes, some of the dribbling. And now you're seeing he doesn't have a manager who's as confident in him to try these things, and sometimes the decision making isn't there just because the confidence sometimes isn't behind that. And I think that can play a factor too.
When you look at what he said about the pressure, and in relation to, I just feel like English players don't really have that mentality to thrive under pressure and to express themselves. So you add the two together.
Yeah.
How managers are like, if you make a mistake, what do you say in English players? If you make a mistake, they don't actually try and recover, they shrink. And you barely see them for the rest of the game. If you see a lot of South American players,
they couldn't care less.
They miss a step over. They're on it. Within the next minute, and it just makes you wonder, why do you have that kind of
mentality? Why is that? Is that coming from? So is it coming from pressure? Is it coming from mentality? Is it coming from coaches? There must be like mentality. You reckon?
Yeah, I would say more mentality than coaches. Obviously, I know coaches are under pressure, and for them, obviously, mistakes can be costly because now in the Premier League it's more about money. But at the same time, I think as a player, you should have a bit of an attitude about yourself, a bit of vim in your play, and sort of have that confidence that even if I make a mistake, yes, the manager will rollick me, but I'm still going to try those things. I'll give an example. Zlatan. You know, he has the arrogance as any other player, but that is coming from him being confident in himself. Even when he had the bust up with Pep all those years ago, it didn't affect his confidence. It was like, I'll move on to Axville because I know how good I am. Whether he thinks I'm good, it makes no difference. I know how good I am. And so what you get is that he goes on to another club, thrives there. Whereas English players are sort of, when managers come on top of them, it's sort of, the confidence is sort of, being sort of derived away from them, and I think they need to have that bit of swagger about them in their game and in their mentality to say, if I make a mistake, so what? I'm learning.
I think the press as well, the media don't help. Like with the players, they put a ton of pressure on the young English players. I remember when Theo Walcott was coming through one of the tournaments. What was it? 04, 06 times.
06. 16 years old.
Yeah, they were calling him like the next Pele, the next Pele. So they put these players on a pedestal, build them up with this massive pressure. If they don't meet these expectations, then they go and break them down again, and then they're never the same player. So
and in England, it's very, very difficult to change reputations. And if I'm a youngster, I'm thinking, right, if I develop a reputation that I'm not good at this, and I spend the next year working on it, and I still become good at it, it's not going to change. And I remember Klopp said something similar. He said in England, when you're known for something, even if you stop it, I'll give you an example, Liverpool being known for conceding corners. Once it's stopped, people still, we've got pundits on TV saying the same thing, and you're like, bro, are you watching the football? Do you know what I'm saying?
But you just add what you said. It's same with Sterling. When Sterling burst on the scene, they called him the next great thing. Had a little bit of a dip. The opinions changed. I was like, hold on, you can't change your opinion that quickly. You're calling the next big thing, world-class player. All of a sudden, you're saying, oh, he's not as good. He needs to learn. Now he's back on form again. Watch how quickly these guys change their opinion. And you need to watch players develop, understand their skill sets, understand their weaknesses, and have a proper overall view on the player, which is constructive for the player to grow and develop. Don't just throw these tags onto these players before they've even done anything. Watch them develop and start to build your opinion on them.
But you know what? I sort of disagree with most of the stuff we've said, because I'd sort of blame managers, right? There's this weird mentality in England where if a youngster comes through and he's a striker, I don't know who started it, but all of a sudden playing on the wing will help them develop like their overall game or their overall skill set. Welbeck, I remember Fergie used to say, it'll help him, he'll get better. Rashford, a striker, right? I know he played as a forward sometime, maybe on the wing, but he's a striker. He's come for us a striker. Play him up top.
So you don't feel like positional play helps build overall game?
I understand why, but bruh, if you're a striker, Harry Kane, striker, stick him up top. I'll give you examples, right? You've got Maitland now at Arsenal, he's a centre mid, getting played at fullback. Reece Nelson is a winger, getting played at right back, right? Marcus Edwards, he's like as a winger, but then all of a sudden they'll play him attacking mid. My thing is, why can't we just play these players in their position, let them learn in that position, let them show that Rashford, put him up top, let him bang goals, let him learn from that. Why do you have to put him on the wing?
The only thing I can think of is that because coaches might see them in training, and they might look at them before they put them on the stage and be like, you're lacking in a certain area of your game. If I put you out on the main stage and you don't deliver, fans are going to crucify you.
Bro, but it's getting done abroad. Look at Mbappe plays in his position. There's a lot of young. He's a forward, but he's
not now. But obviously, but
he's not
Mbappe. He has the freedom to move around. Like, it isn't like at United, very structured. Martial on the left. Let's say they put Rashford on the left. Let's say they put Sanchez on the right. Obviously, Sanchez has freedom to sort of move around because he's more experienced, but Mourinho expects it to be very structured. Whereas I look at PSG, they float around. Yes, Martial, Mbappe can be on the right. Sometimes you see him on the left. Sometimes he takes up that forward position. Yeah. If Cavani has moved, there's that fluidity about them that allows them.
They play where they're brought up to play. That's
I don't fully agree with Harry.
You know, what position is he?
But he's a centre back.
He's a centre back.
He's been played sometimes in centre mid.
So why can't he learn his trade at centre back? He'll make mistakes. Youngsters make mistakes. They're supposed to make mistakes. I know there's the risk, but someone has to be like, oh God, yeah.
There are two sides to your story. There are two sides to your story because Pirlo is an attacking midfielder.
Yeah. But he developed his game
as a DM.
Yeah.
Because he lacked pace.
Yeah.
So they switched him. He was at Brescia. They switched him.
I understand
Bonucci,
that. Yeah.
Midfielder.
Yeah.
Switched him to a defender.
I understand that, right? But in England, we see cases where guys that should that's what I'm using Welbeck as an example. He was a striker, right? And Fergie said to himself, playing on the wing is going to help him.
Yeah.
Did it really help him?
Because some of the attributes that he had at that time suited as a winger. He lacked what was needed.
Okay, what about Rashford, for example? Do you reckon he should be a striker?
I think Rashford should be a striker.
Yeah. So do you know what I'm saying? Why can't we just play these English youngsters in their position?
Rashford is a thing whereby if he played under Pep or Van Gaal, he would still be playing as a striker. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mourinho has come in, looked at the big picture and said that the pressure of the club. Forget other players that have done it. Rashford is not as special as Rooney. You know, Rooney was a special play him. You know, you just look at it can he handle it? This is where I say I don't blame the coach because the mentality that they're already coming with, you're not too sure about it. What did Sterling say? Sterling said that Pep had to reinstill that confidence inside me to get to that level that I am. They don't have the confidence already shattered by the time they get there. So when managers come in, whether it's overseas or the managers that we have here, they're like, including the pressure and the mentality, they're just like, listen, I don't feel like I can take it unless you've shown them something so outrageous. I feel like right now they don't want to take the risk unless you're showing unbelievable skills or skills in relation to your position and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna pay you.
I think a lot of youngsters will need to have a little bit of flexibility in terms of positions just to get the minutes on the pitch. Where you're trying to get in front of ahead of so many of these established players, it's like, okay, so you may be a centre back now, but we really need someone to step in.
But they get stuck. That's my issue. They get stuck.
But then, wouldn't you say that's now when they play now? Because for instance, I watch Rashford and his decision making for me is quite terrible. He's on the left, sometimes when he should pass, he shoots. Sometimes when he should lay off the ball, he's still going for that extra dribble. Sometimes I see him, instead of him to cut back and see what's around, he's still running out wide and defenders shepherd him out. And I think by then, there's aspects to develop out wide, which is your decision making. And I think because you're looking, Maria's probably looking at that and thinking, you're not making the right decisions. If you're not making the right decisions there, why would I now put you up front where you're still not going to make the right decisions? And I think one of the biggest issues we find in England is no progressive planning. So you find that people come in, you want short-term goals. Whereas I look at Barcelona, for example, when the likes of Messi, Iniesta, Xavi all coming through. Progressive planning. We have this academy, we want to develop the youngsters, we want to give them an environment where they can develop, learn at the club, so that within the next 5, how many years, we have a core of players who would be the mainstay and be the forefront of this club. And I think right now in England, we don't have anything. No one's thinking, okay, we have this crop of players within our academy. What's the plan to sort of bring them through, help them develop, create an environment where they can come into the first team and sort of learn through other players, learn through the manager and hone their skills. And I think we're missing that in England because the money has now affected things and now the price to now sort of have failure, it overweighs. That's the reason why.
So affects the players and their development.
Yeah. And I think when owners and managers sort of get out of that mindset, I think clubs will be better, because like I said, not every club can compete with the big clubs money-wise. So think smartly. Start to bring in players, start to source properly and develop players and create a nucleus for the next few years, and you find that they will find more benefit from that rather than sort of trying to bring in 40 million or say we'll just play where it's
Southampton have done a great job.
A good example, another good example he said is Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. You're also at the same time treading that thin line.
Of relegation.
The line is so thin, because if you get relegated,
no one cares about.
No, unless unless you have faith in your manager. Sean Dyche,
the big one,
right,
went down. They were like, we believe what he's doing.
Stick to it.
Stuck by him. He's come back up. There's 6, 7. They're going to be playing European football. You understand? So not a lot of clubs have that faith. They just, as soon as they go down, they blow it up. They don't want to.
Credit to Burnley, that progressive planning. Even though Dash brought them down, it's like, okay, probably sat down and said, what do we do to get back up? When we get back up, what is the next steps? What resources do we need to push through the club to ensure that we maintain our status in the Premier League? And actually, last season they did well to stay up. They did well to sort of stay in the league. Now they've gone up again. They're currently 7th place. I believe. Like 2 or 5 points behind Arsenal. You know, so year by, I guess over the next few years, it's like, okay, let's continue to build on this, continue to gather momentum, and who knows how far they can get.
Alright guys, we'll end it on that note.
Hi guys, and that was Footy Says presenting young players being more expressive in the Premier League. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe under the video. At YouTube, Footy Says, find us on Twitter, #Footy Says, and yeah, man's Micah.